Red Dead Redemption 2 begins its epic story in the Grizzly Mountains during a snowstorm. Returning to this area of the game later on offers a number of creepy sights, including this giant mammoth carcass. However, creepiest of all is surely the frozen couple. They are located on a mountain ridge just north of Lake Isabella, and seem to have died from the cold, their shriveled bodies clutching one another for warmth by their tent. Nearby lays the body of their horse with a terrifying look on its face. It seems the couple used its innards for warmth. Strangest of all is the panoramic map found in the frozen hands of the fallen travellers. The map is ambiguous, and at the time of this recording, its purpose in the game is still unknown. Just behind the Braithwaite Manor, by the lakeside, Arthur happens upon a chained-up outhouse. Chilling screams and tormented wails can be heard from within.
Who are you? Who's out there? Somebody's out there.
Upon inspecting this chained structure, Arthur is attacked by a woman trapped inside. There is no way to free this poor woman. She seems to be someone's captive and has a horrifying appearance. Her head is partly shaven and she seems to be starving. While riding through Lamoille County, you may have spotted a mysterious-looking town. This is known as Pleasance. However, the name couldn't be any less fitting. This ghost town consists of run-down and boarded-up buildings left to rot by the former occupants. A small plot of graves is situated in the centre of the town. There is no way inside the houses, and more disturbing still are the messages painted across them. A large barn at the back of the town warns passers-by of a plague within, suggesting there were people locked within who had become infected by the disease and left to rot. Another house mentions these people were sinners and brought the plague on themselves. It's creepy to imagine what we would find if we could enter some of these buildings. Throughout Arthur's adventure, he encounters many oddball characters, some of which are downright creepy. One of the strangest and most disturbing is surely the Mad Preacher. He is often found ranting and raving in the middle of lakes and rivers and seems to sleep on nothing more than a rug under the stars. Listen to some of the weird and creepy things he has to say.
They come for me, but I'm watching. Yeah. I never sleep. I never do.
His campsite is disturbing too when analysed. It contains a cross driven into the soil as if someone is buried beneath it. Another cross is adorned with roses, and he seems to possess a backpack and clothing that belonged to a completely different traveller. What has this mysterious man of God been up to on his travels, and are his past crimes the reason for his current madness? In the town of Rhodes is a gunsmith hiding a dark secret. If you walk down the alleyway beside his gun store, Arthur can see a barred basement window. Inside is a young man who claims the gun store owner has imprisoned him.
You've gotta help me. It's that crazy gunsmith. He made me dress up like this. He's got me chained to the goddamn bed.
The man is dressed in children's clothing, and there is no way to access the basement in order to free him. However, taking out the gunsmith and looting him leads Arthur to discover a drawing from the shopkeeper's son. It appears he may have lost his only child and replaced him with a young man who looked similar, a man he now has trapped beneath his store. Visit Emerald Ranch and approach the large farmhouse at the far side. Then wait for nightfall and observe the upper window on the right side of the building. At around 9 PM on certain nights, a ghostly figure of a woman appears in the window. She will hang around for an hour or so before vanishing once again. Could this be the ghost of one of the people buried in the nearby graveyard? A little way up the mountain from Strawberry is a well-hidden path that leads into the heart of the mountain and reveals a small cave entrance. Arthur can enter this cave if he crouches down, and inside is something pretty bizarre. At first we notice the cave is well lit, with lamps and rope bridges laid across chasms. Make your way to the back of this cave and you'll hear an eerie voice warning you to leave.
Why don't you turn around and go back to the light?
The voice eventually claims to be the devil himself.
I'm the devil! I'm the devil! I'm the devil!
However, shortly after, it is revealed to simply be a madman who has styled his hair into a pair of horns and wishes to play the role of a demon living within this cave. The man tells Arthur to leave once again before stepping back into the darkness.
Is that so bad? Wanting solitude? Wanting loneliness?
At first, this just seems to be a little creepy, but the more we think about a man living a reclusive life in a dark cave and gradually slipping into insanity, the more it becomes genuinely disturbing. Just outside of the grizzlies in the mountain woodland is a witch's camp. We can see evidence of witchcraft all around this place. Skulls, both animal and human, potions, books on alchemy, and candles galore. The structure itself is otherworldly too, constructed from scraps of both natural and man-made materials. At the far side of this small camp is a cauldron bubbling away. Arthur can drink from this cauldron, and upon doing so passes out, only to wake up in the wilderness nearby sometime later, leaving us to wonder what exactly happened to him after he drank this strange concoction. Just north of Hanover near the Heartland Flow is an abandoned shack. Enter this dilapidated structure and you'll meet a freaky sight to be sure. Bunk beds full of skeletons, people who seem to have ingested poison and then laid down to sleep one last time. But why would they do this? Well, it appears these were members of a demented cult. Their leader sits at the top table looking down on his disciples. He wears robes which perhaps suggest this was some kind of religious group. On the table beside him is a letter which reads as follows. Mysterious sermon. At the second hour under the half moon, by the great love and the grace of our Saviour Kakawaba, voyager of time and galaxies, we cast off our corporal shells, so his vessel can take our spirits to the promised realm, to live in peace and power until the 2000th year, when we will return for the new chosen and worship once again at the peak of Mount Shan. In his love we rejoice always. If you enter this church at a certain time of night, something even more bizarre occurs. A UFO will show up in the blink of an eye and beam light down upon Arthur as he explores. As soon as he exits the cabin, however, the UFO vanishes as quickly as it first appeared. Just up the hill from the Van Horn trading outpost is a forest containing a creepy-looking house. The house is boarded up and there seems to be no way to gain entry. However, you may have spotted the open window on the first floor. Arthur is able to climb up to this window and gain access to one room of the house. The room is one of the most horrifying sights in the game. It seems to have once belonged to a mad taxidermist. At the far side, a Frankenstein creation is strung up. A man-made mutant comprising of different animal parts, including a wild boar, a wolf, and an eagle. Elsewhere around the room, we see all kinds of disturbing drawings and pickled animal parts, as well as other weird taxidermy sculptures. It's a room you'll want to leave as soon as you enter, and we can only imagine what twisted secrets the rest of the house may hold. It wouldn't be a Rockstar game without a Bigfoot sighting, right? This scary-looking giant skeleton can be discovered when exploring Mount Shan. Could this be the skeleton of Bigfoot, or simply a really big human from the caveman days? You'll have to be the judge of that, but either way it's pretty creepy, right? Mount Shan holds many weird Easter eggs, such as this strange rock art, and a bizarre compass-like dial at the very highest point, which may well relate to the religious group we talked about found in the cabin earlier. There are likely many secrets we still haven't discovered in this vast mountainous region, so if you're feeling brave, why not go seek them out? Exploring the bayou at night is always a scary prospect. As well as alligators and snakes to look out for, Arthur comes across strange people known as nightfolk who are on the hunt for lone travelers to rob. However, there is one sight that is supremely creepy and unexpected: the vision of the ghost lady. She cries and wails about the injustices committed against her during her life and its tragic end.
She never loved you. She never did.
It's a super unsettling event that you won't forget once you've experienced it, but I personally couldn't help feeling a little sorry for this troubled, lost soul.
We need a better mom network. With Boost, you get a...
If Arthur waits at a certain point along the railroad near Lemoy, he will come across a haunting apparition. At around 3 PM on rare instances at this exact spot, a ghost train may show up to give you a scare. This is one stunning and eerie sight, and a train Arthur obviously is unable to rob. What is interesting about this ghost train is that there is a derailed train found beneath the railway tracks of Branite Pass near Fort Wallace. Could this ghost train be related to the accident we see before us here? Let me know what you think in the comments section below. And that's it for today's video.